Oh, goodness. We had a long, long day today. I had some lunch. I got to sit down for a minute. I want to get through some of this stuff. It is Amy, my wife's birthday on Monday. Feel free to send her some well wishes. I told her I'd wake up tomorrow and cook. Terrible news. None of the malls are open. Amazon's not delivering for a long time, so it looks like she's going to get breakfast in bed for her birthday this year. A little bit of pancakes, bacon and eggs, toast if she wants it. Have to go to Starbucks and get a mocha. That will be her birthday present. I know it's upsetting, but hey, it's a pandemic. So obviously I'm in a little better spirits today. When it's cloudy and rainy for a couple of days and you train the horses a slow trip on the Wednesday and it's snowing out and cold and miserable. It just sucks the life right out of you. I think I went home and went to bed at 8 o'clock at night or something on Wednesday. Today, woke up 6:45, wanted to get going, right? Wanted to get cracking. Frilly Fringes was in the first set. I knew Amy and we had the kids. They're not going to get up at 6:45, not right away. So we both went to go in early. Kids got up. Even Adeline got up. And for those of you wondering, Adeline sleeps from 8 o'clock at night right till 9 o'clock the next morning, almost every night. She's a great little girl and a great sleeper. So we all got up, got dressed, kids had breakfast. I went and got Amy a drink, and then we virtually got to the barn at the same time, around 7:45, 8 o'clock. Got Frilly Fringes ready. So the way, as I said to you guys in the opening, the way we do it some days is that kind of every shed row for themselves. When we go on the track, there's so many horses training. We usually go up, and if I've already jogged a lap and James just comes up with 3 of his guys and they have 3 laps to jog before they're going to turn, I'll just go the extra lap and join in. And that's kind of how we've done it sometimes off and on over forever. So today was one of those days. No structured sets. Everybody was going the same speed, 235, 240, a mile and a half. Just go easy. And that's what we did. So we got the first set in, and I saw some 3-year-olds training. I saw a bunch training yesterday. It was a really good day. I don't think I saw one horse train poorly. Sure, there was some that weren't great today. Stacy Hanover made a break, and she's been a little pacey and acting weird for the last week. I don't know what it is with her. It's not lameness. Just mechanically, we're just getting her sorted away. This Ophelia can fly, and she really just doesn't get the proper press she deserves when you look at how quick she finished up her mile and how strong she looked last week. It was an impressive mile. So I'm thinking she's going through a growth spurt, maybe horsing a little bit, but it might be time to take some of the weight off. I know from time to time she'll pace, but if she can pace with all that weight on, I think we need to get her to a more comfortable place where less weight, and this might not be possible. Barbie's Crown cannot function without a ton of weight, but I think Stacy Hanover's a little bit different. We're going to tinker with her this week. No big deal. She can go plenty. She's already come very good last halves and quarters. There's no shortage of speed there. So it's just a matter of working on her. When you look at the horses we've been working on and how well they were today, it's uplifting, to say the least, to say, okay, the horse in our barn that's struggling the most right now was Carry Big Stick. So I worked with him all week. He trained today in like 236, 235, something like that, and was awesome. Was awesome again on Wednesday. Few little tiny shoeing adjustments again, a little equipment adjustment, and Carry Big Stick starting to settle in now and looked very good today. It wasn't that long ago. You look back, and I keep bringing up GW Chrome, but I should. All right, this is how you work things out on a case-by-case basis. GW Chrome needed some help in January and February. We got it for him, backed him off, and then worked with him with the hobbles on, and now the horse a creature. So again, Italian Grit, run. I went with him all week. He trained good on Wednesday. I went with him today, and he was awesome. I know Mark Adams watches these videos. Well, all of our clients do now because you have nothing better to do. So Italian Grit won his set today. I'm not sure if that was his first lifetime training set win, but he was very, very strong, finished up strong, drove away from them after the wire, through the turn where he makes that break. I've been working hard with him all week, specifically in that corner of the track. That might sound stupid to you, but if it's no different than a kid that's having trouble with free throws or jump shots. do more free throws and jump shots, right? Same with any sport. So these horses are no different. He struggled in that corner. I worked on him all week, pushing him through that corner, pushing him through that corner, pushing him through that corner, going slow 3/8 of a mile and letting him sprint where he's uncomfortable. Get him in a place where the only way to alleviate that discomfort is to make it comfortable. So work harder and work harder and work harder in that turn. And Italian Grit was very, very good. Now he'll probably go out and make a break or something next week, but he was very good Wednesday and even better today. So let's get right to it. I'm going to give you a top 10 list from today because there are a number of changes on this list. I don't think I numbered them, did I? Won't take long. So when we look at the top 10 list today, these are horses that impressed me today. Now, the reason there are 2 lists now, I think it's fair. Before we did it because Eternity Road may not have been good on that particular day, but there are a number of movers on this list. So I want to, just getting them all in order here. I want to make sure that we get them all correct. So we are going to start with, as soon as I can write it, we're going to start with number 10, Cirrus Blue Chip. Cirrus Blue Chip was fantastic today, finished up his mile well. Now, I'd made a break with Stacy Hanover in that set, so I didn't really know who won the set. There was 2 horses right together, and James said they finished up together. I didn't get a chance to catch up to both drivers, but James had said they both looked good, both finished up good, both were strong. So they both made the top 10 list today because that was a decent set. But I put Cirrus Blue Chip at 10th. Because I wasn't certain who won it. I suppose if he had beaten this. Nah, I think being a 10th is fair. There has to be some sort of consistent effort here. And I think that Cirrus Blue Chip's been on and off the list, shown a lot of talent, a lot of pop, a lot of speed, but has not consistently made this list. Now, before we get too far into this list, I don't have any of Kevin's horses on here. I saw them train now that I'm thinking in my mind. Adrenaline Rush looked fantastic. So did Better's Hope. Looked very good. Who else did Kevin have that trained that I saw? Saw a lot of his 3-year-olds train. I'm going to say I saw those 2 2-year-olds. If something else pops into my head, I'll let you know. These were horses I saw. I sat behind her. I was in the sets with, or I saw training. There's a couple in here that were not in our sets, but actually looked very, very good. So I will give that little caveat from the start, was that I did not personally see many of Kevin's 2-year-olds go. I know they trained good. I know that I spoke to him, and he said they were all very good today. The only 2 that I can remember were Adrenaline Rush, who looked very, very, very good, and Better's Hope. They finished up real strong. Both of them heads apart on the end of it. Both of them look good. Obviously, I didn't put them on the list. The list I could have easily. I think Adrenaline Rush would have made it on before a couple of these horses. So, Cirrus Blue Chip at number 10. Number 9 from today. Had to put some of the winners on, and a winner of the last set was Carry a Big Stick. For those of you out there who own shares and Carry a Big Stick or are waffling or worried that, he's just not getting there, he's not doing it, he's not getting stuff together, he got it all together now. I told you it would only take a matter of time. Just as I said to Mario when it came to Canadian Titan last week, he was very, very worried about her making breaks. I said inches and ounces. So ounces would be the weight on their front end, and inches could be a number of things. Little shoeing adjustments, little equipment adjustments, but these things matter. And they matter a lot. And even the smallest little amount of weight or equipment change can make it totally just a massive difference in the way the horse is. I know it's hard for people to believe that, but it's true. And Carry a Big Stick. Just a few little, I guess it'd be like NASCAR, right? All those turns and wedges they talk about. I don't know what any of them are, but okay, you got me. I really just got those words from Days of Thunder. I don't really know anything about NASCAR. So, there you go. But Carry a Big Stick was very, very good today. Johnny McKinnon went with him yesterday and today, and Johnny did a great job with him, kept him trotting today. And I asked him after, how was he? Because he went around again. He goes, you got that jawbreaker on him, and he's pretty bully. He said, I had to go around a whole other lap with him. So that's how Carry a Big Stick was today. Sharp, strong, consistent, and confident. So Carry a Big Stick well on his way. Number 8, Desperado. This is a horse that bounced on and off the list all year. That's the horse I love. And I don't get to go with him often. Usually when I go with him, he makes his way onto the top 10 list. And when I don't, he doesn't. He's a very particular horse. You put him in a position to attack and just give him a little swat in the tail. He'll do it. If you ask him nicely, he won't. And it's not that he won't, but he's not really that concerned about it. It's almost like he knows, right? It's almost like he's a lost soul. And when you really put him in gear, he'll dance, but you have to put him in gear. Steve went with him today, if I'm not mistaken. He won the set with Cirrus Blue Chip, and from where I was sitting behind Steve, I was third over, Steve was second over. It looked like he was ready to pounce, and as soon as he flipped him off cover, he was gone. And Cirrus Blue Chip finished up hard. He was bottled up the inside, finished up hard through the inside, and looked good also. So number 8, Desperado. Now, whoa. Number 7, Italian Grit. There's 2 horses on here that may have never made the list before. Italian Grit. I worked with him all week. I trained him hard on Wednesday. I went with him today. When I moved him coming into the last turn, now Chris was going with Off-Road Hanover, and he blew the turn a little bit. I was going to go around him or try to, but when he blew the turn, I just shot right through the middle of Lincoln Hanover and Off-Road Hanover, 2 horses that can really trot. And now, in fairness to Lincoln, he didn't have hobbles on today. We were just going easy. But I blew right past the pair of them and opened up going into the turn. And then I made him work hard as he could through the turn, the middle of the turn, and then where he's made those mistakes almost every time in the same place, right, is that point of the turn right where people would be standing. Right there is where he has issues, and he blew right through there, no problem today. Italian Grit looked very, very, very good today. A filly that trained very, very hard last week, and was tired. And I didn't know how she'd rebound this week. She won both her training sets Wednesday and Saturday and looked very, very strong today. And that is Barbie's Crown. Barbie's Crown looks like the Barbie's Crown I gave an A+ to at Christmas. It took a while, right? That curb set her back. She was struggling to get properly gated. We got her hung up perfect now, I believe. And she was very, very good today. Now, number 5, another newcomer to the list. Fox Valley Britska. This is a horse that I only went with today. I can't take any accolades for how he's been all week. James and Steve usually go with Fox Valley Britska. They both do a fine job with Fox Valley Britska. He looked just as good for Steve last week as he did for me today. A little bully, a little hot, but that anger is starting to dissipate, I've noticed today. I just came first over, sat in the outside, cleared down the backstretch, and as soon as we got to the head of lane, I didn't have to ask him twice. I just called on him, just shook the lines at him, and he was gone. And looked very, very good. Fox Valley Britska was nothing short of fantastic. Now, I put 2 horses at number 4 because I don't know which one of them won. The reason I don't know is because I was one of them. Burley Fringes sat 7th the whole way, 6th on the outside. I called on her at the head of the lane, and we trotted, the horse clearing to the front, trotted as hard as she could. I came from 6th. I believe I might have won, but it's unfair. I may not have. My Jazz, and you might say, oh, Steve won. No, Steve does really good with this filly, but Paige Austin, who is James's girlfriend, Paige went with My Jazz, flipped her 3 wide coming into the stretch, and she trotted her hard out to the wire. And Frilly Fringes is a big, powerful filly, and we were flying down the lane. I think I might have got there, but it was close enough where I had to put them both at the number 4 spot. Both these fillies look tremendous today. Both of them have been working great the last month, aside from a couple little wrinkles here and there. But Frilly Fringes and My Jazz were nothing short of fantastic today. They come in at number 4. Number 3 is a horse that will continue to climb all the charts into the summer, I believe, and be an extremely effective horse for us south of the border, and that is GW Chrome, as we know him, George. George was fantastic today. Johnny McKinnon goes with him. Now, couldn't quite get to my number 1 horse on the list today. I was going with that horse. Johnny McKinnon went with GW Chrome. GW Chrome's been great. It was his trip. It was his way. It's just the horse I was going with. I don't think could be outsprinted by anybody right now from the head of the lane to the wire. And we'll get to her in a minute. Eternity Road was sitting behind me. James I moved over to let Eternity Road through the inside, and he gets on the left line just a little bit, not a big deal, but just one of those horses that may struggle to get into the inside. So James tried to force him down on the inside, and he just lost himself and rolled off stride. He might be the only one that maybe GW Chrome, this horse, and Eternity Road, I think, are the fastest sprinters we have. Fringes can sprint quick for a piece, and so can One My Heart Hanover. But I don't know if they can beat any of these 3 in a short distance sprint race. But we're going to stick to GW Chrome just yet. GW Chrome was nothing short of great again today. This horse has been awesome. He's got 6 wins in 2 seconds. I think in his last 8 training sets. Not that we count them, but you can be sure George does. I said to Johnny, I put it to you this way. We have a martingale on him. He used to wear a brain cord and a martingale, and he'd just get wired all the time. You can just see him in his body language. He was just on pins and needles, like just ready to explode. But now that we focus that energy and he's got a slicker, more fluid gait, you can see him moving forward fast, right? He rolled up alongside me getting into the last turn, and the martingale was loose. That's because he's not on pins and needles anymore. Now he's got that confidence where it's just like, yeah, just wait till we get to the head of the lane, and I'll deal with you in a minute. And he couldn't deal with this horse today, but at the same time, there's few that he can't. But he's just got that confidence, right? That way about him now. And GW Chrome just looks absolutely fantastic. A horse that you're going to hear a lot of other than GW Chrome this summer is Blue Monk. Blue Monk is Trafalgar's brother. I put him on the front today, and the little gray horse stayed in behind me, and he can fly on the end of it also. We got to the head of the lane, and I just set the bit in his mouth. And Blue Monk near tore a hole in the track. I said that about Won My Heart Hanover last week. Blue Monk is I think, I could be wrong, because a horse like Beef and Cheddar is a nice horse also, but I do believe Blue Monk is probably our best pacing horse so far. I could be wrong. I could be missing somebody. From what I can see in my head right now in real time, I don't think there's a better looking horse, all in, top to bottom, soup to nuts, everything included, than Blue Monk. He's quick. He's smart. There's not a horse. Him and Won My Heart Hanover, I tell you all the time, the two smartest horses by far on the property. But he's quick on his feet. You know, he's a big, strong. I left him a stud too, like Braemar. Big, strong colt. And when you cut him loose and put him in gear, he moves like a little cat. And I just can't say enough about Blue Monk. Number 2 today, and he could have been number 1 easily. Only this horse is just about as impressive as you could ask a 2-year-old to be in April. And I've said that last month. I went with this horse once, and you saw me cut her loose, starting into the backstretch, and he had some fierce power and can carry it at long distances for a little horse. You all know what I'm talking about. That's I'm a Lovely Lady. I put her on the front today. My intention was at 1.5 miles, put her on the front, let somebody, because the only place she's been uncomfortable that I've seen is she's made the odd break, but the only time she's been uncomfortable that I can see is when she's sitting behind and horses are all around her and there's jostling and moving and yelling, and she gets a little wiry. So I assumed I put her on the front, somebody'd loop around, maybe somebody else would come and I'd be jammed up in traffic. As it turned out, nobody came. I sat on the front, got everything my own way. GW Chrome rolled up on the outside of me. Normally I would be very concerned if this was a situation where I was worried about winning. You know, GW Chrome can usually trot with everybody, but this filly, she's legit. She's powerful. She's like a little football player. And we got to the head of the lane, and GW Chrome can fly. And I cut her loose, and we trotted 1-2 all the way down the lane. He never gained an inch, and she never gave up an inch. All the way to the wire, like the length of a head or neck. Eternity Road was on the inside. It had made a break, but I don't think even he could catch up to these two today when they got the jump on them. And I'm a Lovely Lady is as impressive a trotter as you'd want to see. You know, just looking back at the mile and how she turned for home and just cut loose. She's a legit filly. She's one of our best Ohio bred fillies. We should have a lot of fun in Ohio if we can just get there, because we've got some nice horses here. So I'm a Lovely Lady is number 1. I'm going to run through them quick for you again. Number 10, Cirrus Blue Chip. Number 9, Carry a Big Stick, first time in the list. Desperado committed 8. Number 7, another first timer, Italian Grit. Number 6, not a first timer, Barbie's Crown. Number 5, another first timer, I believe, or close to it, Fox Valley Britska. 4, I had to tie them because they tied. Furley Fringes and My Jazz both were fantastic today. Number 3, Georgia GW Chrome. 2, Blue Monk. And number 1, where she belonged today, I'm a Lovely Lady. So that's a top 10 list from today, just from today. I got 2 more top 10 lists. I got the top 10 3-year-olds this week in training, and I have the top 10 2-year-olds overall. It's only fair as long as Eternity Road and Won My Heart Hanover and Where We Welcome can't make it onto the top 10 list overall. There needs to be a top 10 list overall today. So I'll be back in a second. We get 2 more top 10 lists. I'll be back with one of them in just a minute.